Welcome Cantu to week number 3, session number 6 of our 10-week bodyweight program. Today's session is cardio, so I thought what we'd do is a traditional Tabata session, which is a really high intensity interval training session. It was developed back in 1996 by a Japanese researcher, and he proved it was the most effective way to burn fat, improve endurance, improve speed, and aid in weight loss. So it's super short bursts of high intensity exercise followed by a much shorter rest period. So it can be applied to cycling, also swimming, running, really anything. So it's just interval training. It is traditionally 20 seconds of exercise with 10 seconds of rest and 8 rounds for 4 minutes. So we will be doing 6 different exercises. With Tabata, the entire session should be no longer than 30 minutes just because it is such a high intensity activity. So making sure if you do start to feel a little bit nauseous or shortness of breath, or you just don't feel great, then please stop the exercise, maybe have a drink of water, which I have handy here, or have a bit of a sit down and then restart the video when you feel a bit better. Today's session we only need a mat, and that's just for our stretching. We're doing the entire session standing up, and optional is 2 water bottles. So I have slightly heavier bottles today. They are 1.25 litres, which is obviously 1.25 kilograms, and we will be using those for presses. So if you do have hand weights, I'd recommend a hand weight sort of around 1 to 3 kilograms. I think anything above 3 kilograms might get a little bit too heavy. Okay, so we will start off with a warm-up, and then I'll explain each exercise as we're about to do them, because then that'll give us a bit of a recovery between the exercises as well. So starting marching on the spot. Now we need a really good warm-up for these team, just because they really get our heart rate up, so we want to be ready to go by the time we do our first set. Okay, so picking up the pace a little bit to a jog. So this is our warm-up pace. So for those of you who do the track at ES Marks or any of the other locations on a Wednesday night, this is our warm-up loop. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit quicker. So pretending this is our first run through. Okay, and quick. So really quick beat. Keep going and back to a slow jog. So I'll probably just run about 200 metres without leaving my courtyard. Okay, and then feet apart and do side rotation. It's coming up on your toes as you twist. We will be doing a lot of lateral movements today. That's why it's a good idea to warm up in this plane. Lateral movements are really good training as well, team, just because they move our body out of its normal plane, so it challenges us a lot more. Okay, so coming up on your toes with your feet shoulder width apart. Coming down into a squat. Now you can come down into a shallow squat. If you can't get down any lower, that's fine, just to stay there. And just moving from side to side. Or you can come down into a full squat and then moving from side to side here. Okay, coming up on your toes, stretching it out nice and tall. And to a shakeout. Okay. Back with your feet shoulder width apart, nice and tall, coming up on your toes. Back into a shakeout. Okay, so our first exercise today, team, is the jumping jack or star jump, which I'm sure most of you have done before. It looks a bit like this, so coming out and up at the same time. So this is what I mean by more challenging, because we are working outside. our normal plane. So this is much more challenging for our body to do that than it is to do that, for example. So we're getting much more bang for our buck. Now, it's eight rounds, so 20 seconds each round. If you need to have a break between rounds, so you can do 2, then 1 off, or maybe even 1, then 1 off, to see how you go. But it really does get your heart rate up, so see how you go, team. Okay, now the app I use for this, I'll pull it up, is this little black and orange one here. And I didn't choose it because it's orange, it's just a coincidence, but how good is that? And this one counts for us as well. And it also has a motivational quote with every set, and today's is, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. And that's by a chap called Carl Jung. So someone will have to Google that for me because I have no idea who Carl Jung is. Okay, so ready to go for our first one, and you'll hear the countdown so you don't have to listen to my voice for the whole session. 3 seconds until go.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set
Okay,
1.
let's
7
go.
sets left. Rest coming up.
And I love how this app talks to us.
Rest.
Okay, resting. So if this gets a little bit too tough, then you can just do a squat with arms up. But exercise number 3 is squat jump, so just bear that in
20
mind.
seconds. Set 2. 6 sets left.
Nice quick feet.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, resting. 5 seconds more rest. That's 2 down and 6 to go.
Exercise 20
Okay,
seconds.
let's go.
Set 3. 5 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay. After this one, we'll be halfway. Okay, let's go again.
Exercise
Nice
20
and
seconds.
dynamic.
Set 4. 4 sets left. Rest coming up.
Okay, we are halfway. My heart rate is certainly up. I can feel it. Okay, let's go again.
Exercise
4
20
sets.
seconds. Set 5. 3 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay. Oh. Okay. We have 3 sets left.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 6. 2 sets left.
The only thing I don't like about this app is that it counts down the set before you actually start it.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, so we have 1 minute left, which is 2 rounds.
Exercise 20 seconds.
Okay, let's
Set
go.
7. 1 set left. Rest coming up.
Okay.
Rest.
1 more round. Okay.
Exercise 20 seconds. Last set. Come on. Rest coming up.
Okay, 5 seconds of work left, team. Stay with me.
Rest. Workout
Okay.
pause. Workout reset.
Okay, that was tough. Okay, so get your breathing back under control while I demonstrate the next exercise. Our second Tabata exercise is the push press. So this is where we're using our water bottles. So starting off with the water bottles at shoulder height in a neutral position. So neutral position is when our palms are facing each other. If we're doing a pronated position, it's when our palms are facing down, and supinated is when our palms are facing up. But for this one, we keep our hands in neutral for the whole exercise. So it's a full body movement. So we're squatting and then pushing at the same time. So it's a squat and a push. So it's just a very small squat and then push up. So what you want to avoid doing is squatting, coming up, and then pushing, because we're using too much upper body there, whereas we want to use the entire body. So we want to create a bit of momentum as well. It just gets the heart rate up even more. So I will get my app ready. Okay. And are we ready? Okay, our quote actually is, "Look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better." And that's by Albert Einstein. I know him. Okay,
Starting your
don't need to
Tabata
Google that
workout.
one.
Get
Let's
ready.
go. Okay, so push press.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 1. 7 sets
Okay,
left.
bringing the bottles nice and close to our ears and shoulders on the way down and pushing up.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay. Taking your break. So use the recovery to think about your breathing. So get your breathing back under control, in through
Exercise
your
20
nose and out
seconds.
through your mouth.
Set 2.
Want to
6
get as
sets
much
left.
oxygen in as possible.
Rest coming up.
Pushing. Can't see my hands
Rest.
there. Okay. You might need to give the weights a bit of a break, so you can just use it without the weights if your shoulders and arms start to get a bit too tired.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 3. 5 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, that's 3 rounds done.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 4. 4 sets left.
Go.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Halfway. Whew.
Exercise 20 seconds.
Pushing.
Set 5. 3 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
It's harder than it sounds. 20 seconds of exercise. You wouldn't think it could be so
Exercise
difficult.
20 seconds.
Okay, let's go.
Set 6. 2 sets left.
2 sets, including the one we're currently doing.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Nice work, team. 40 seconds of exercise left for this round, and then we're moving on to our squat jumps.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 7. 1 set left.
Ten seconds. Stay with me.
Rest coming up.
Thank goodness. Okay.
Rest.
Okay, one more round. Stay with me, guys. We are nearly there, and my shoulders are on fire. So I hope yours are too. Okay, let's go. Last round.
Exercise 20 seconds. Last set. Come on.
I like to come on. Okay, 10 seconds.
Rest coming up.
Okay, all the way through.
Rest.
Okay.
Workout paused. Workout reset.
Okay, you can put your bottles down and have a drink, because I certainly need one. Okay, our next exercise is a squat jump. So it's a really, really low squat, and it's just a very small movement. So we don't want to come too high off the ground. The option here is just to do a squat. So squat jump, I'll demonstrate. Feet wide, so you're almost in a sumo position, and just coming about an inch off the ground, if that. It's a really nice low squat, so we don't want to come up too high, and we want to keep that nice soft bend in our knees the whole time. If that gets a little bit too intense, then you're just doing a really small squat. Just this one here, a nice small shallow squat. Okay. Now, if you do need a longer break before between exercises, please just pause it for a bit longer. Okay.
Starting your Tabata workout.
Okay, we have
Get
5-second countdown.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set
Let's
1.
go.
7 sets left.
It's a really nice low squat. It's a very small movement.
Rest coming up.
Okay, take your rest. Remember to breathe in our breaks.
Exercise
go
20
again.
seconds. Set 2. 6 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, remember you don't have to do the jump with the squat. You can just do a nice
Exercise 20 seconds.
low, shallow
Set 3.
squat.
5 sets left.
So even if you are doing the jump squats and you need a bit of a break, you can move to the this dynamic version.
Rest coming up.
Okay,
Rest.
nearly halfway. Okay, so let's go again.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 4. 4 sets left.
Remember, team, this version, or we can do the
Rest
more
coming
dynamic
up.
version, which is a jump squat. Okay, halfway through this set. So 80 seconds of jump squats left.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 5. 3 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest. Exercise 20 seconds. Set 6. 2 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, we have 40 seconds of exercise left for our jump squats. Thank goodness. Okay, let's go.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 7. 1 set left. Rest coming up. Rest.
One more round. And for me, this is the hardest. These are really tough.
Exercise 20 seconds.
Last set.
Last
Remember,
set.
you can just do
Come
the
on.
squat, stay nice and low, or you can do the squat jump. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can count
Rest
how many
coming
you
up.
get done each 20 seconds and try to improve on that each time. Okay.
Rest.
Okay, taking a break, so grabbing some water. So we're halfway through our Tabata session. Next one is more lateral movement, and that is the shuffles. Okay. And our quote here is, "Never mistake motion for action," by Ernest Hemingway. Another one I don't need to Google. Okay, so once you've had a long enough break, we'll get going on our shuffles. I'll demonstrate the exercise first. So we start off on this side of our mat. Now, a yoga mat's a good measurement of distance for a shuffle because we don't want to go too far across, especially if we are working in a small space, which I am today. So starting off nice and low, and it's shuffle for 3. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. So we're not striding, we're shuffling. So 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. So not sliding, shuffling. Now this one should be fine for most levels. If it does get a little bit difficult, just have a bit of a break and start again when you're ready.
Starting your Tabata workout. Get ready.
Okay, are we ready?
Exercise 20 seconds.
1, 2, 3,
Set 1.
tap.
7 sets left.
So this is a really good glute exercise, but it's good for our abductors and adductors as well, which are these and these.
Rest.
A really good exercise for trail runners because when you're trail running, you're doing a lot of lateral movements because of the change in terrain. Okay, let's go.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 2. 6 sets left.
You're nice and quick. So remember, you can count your reps and try to improve each set.
Rest.
2 down.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 3. 5 sets left.
Nice and low, really quick beat. Now the other option here is just stepping it out from side to side if you need a bit of a break.
Rest.
Okay. That's 3 sets done. We have 5 sets of that exercise left before we move on to the last 2 exercises.
Exercise 20
1,
seconds.
2, 3,
Set
tap.
4
2, 3,
sets left.
tap.
Rest coming up.
Okay, halfway. Might want to have a bit of a shake or a bit of a stretch. Okay, back in position. Hands on your
Exercise 20
chest,
seconds.
and let's go.
Set 5. 3 sets left.
Nice and quick. You can take the step option, just stepping from side to side. Okay,
Rest.
3 rounds.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 6. 2 sets left. Rest coming up.
Thank goodness.
Rest.
Okay, 2 rounds.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 7. 1 set left.
Delay.
Rest coming up.
Okay, so remember team, if you need to take the step option to get your breathing and your heart rate back under control, that is absolutely fine.
Exercise 20 seconds. Last set. Come on. Rest coming up.
Okay.
Workout pause. Workout reset.
Okay, and grab some water. You're probably a little bit hot and sweaty like I am now. Now don't forget, you can pause the video if you need a longer break. Okay, our next exercise is the step back. So it's a step back lunge. So I'll demonstrate. So for the first set, we'll use our right leg, and then second set left, right, left until we get to our 8 rounds. So it's just stepping back and coming forward. So back, coming forward. It's a really good one for runners because you're using your arms as well as your legs, and your body is a series of slings. So if this leg is coming forward, then your left side is active. So your right leg's active and your left side is active in your upper body. So we're starting off with our right leg, then our left leg. Now, if you are finding that a little bit difficult, it's fine just to do a step back and lunge. So you don't have to do the more dynamic version. And remember, you can mix it up as well. And ready.
Starting your time.
Have a second countdown.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 1.
Enough.
7 sets left.
And we don't have to bring our knee all the way to the ground. We can just hover our knee off the ground.
Rest coming up.
It's also known as running man. And I'm switching sides for this one. So getting in position so we don't lose any valuable seconds of exercise.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 2. 6 sets left.
You're driving forward with the opposite knee to the hand that's going forward.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, and switching sides. So this time you've got your left foot forward.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 3. 5 sets left.
So right knee comes forward and left hand. It's a good one for coordination as well because you have to think about it.
Rest.
Okay, so we've got our right foot forward and our left foot back.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 4. 4 sets left.
So maybe you can just do a step back lunge if this is a little bit too intense.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay. Sorry, the cooler air has made my nose run a little bit. Okay.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 5. 3 sets left. Rest coming up.
So we have our right foot forward. Okay, we're going to have 60 seconds left of work on this exercise.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 6. 2 sets left.
Second last one.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 7. 1 set left. Rest coming up.
Okay, it's the last one. Right leg forward.
Exercise 20 seconds. Last set. Come on. Rest coming up.
Okay. Okay, grabbing a drink. That was exercise number 5, and our last exercise is a standing crunch, which I'll demonstrate after I've got my breathing back under control and I've had a drink. And I encourage you to do the same. Now, standing crunch we did in week number 2, and it's basically a crunch, but you're doing it standing up. So it's really good for runners because you're actually in the position you are running in, whereas if you're lying on the ground, it's not actually something you would do when you're running unless you fell over. So standing up is one of the best ways to do a crunch for a runner or even a swimmer, because when you're swimming, you're this way, and when you're running, you're obviously upright. So I'll demonstrate and then we'll reset our timer for our last round. So standing nice and tall with your hands just on your head there, just slightly supporting your head. And then we want to do our opposite elbow to knee coming up. So crunching. Remember that mind-muscle connection where we're thinking about the muscle we're using. This is really important in this exercise. So suck your tummy in towards your back and thinking about having a nice, strong, active core. So opposite. Crunching down. So you want to get a little bit of side rotation as well to work the side obliques as well as the lower abs. So I'll put our Tabata timer on for the last time. Okay, and Michael Jordan is saying, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. Perfect. It's a great quote for our last set of exercises. Are we ready?
Starting your Tabata workout. Get ready.
Let's go. So last set, team, last 80 seconds of exercise for this workout.
Exercise 20
Let's
seconds.
go.
Set 1. 7 sets left.
So we're sucking that tummy in towards the back.
Rest coming up.
Okay, 1 round down. 6 rounds to go. 7 rounds to go. Lucky I have my lady here to count for us. Okay, let's go again.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 2. 6 sets left. Rest coming up.
Okay, this is a difficult exercise, team, but it's only 80 seconds worth of difficult exercise.
Exercise 20 seconds. Set 3. 5 sets left.
Oh, 80 left after this one.
Rest coming up.
Okay, nice work.
Rest.
Okay. Okay, so we have 5 sets left. If we include this one, we only have 4 sets left.
Exercise
Okay, let's go
20
again.
seconds. Set 4. 4 sets left. Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, halfway. I can feel my shoulders working after we did the push press with the bottles and doing this straight after.
Exercise 20 seconds.
Okay, let's go.
Set 5. 3 sets left.
So you're crunching, so pretending you're on the ground doing a normal crunch, but you're doing this standing up.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, 3 rounds, 60 seconds left, then we'll have a cool down and a stretch. Okay, that 10 seconds goes way too quick.
Exercise 20 seconds.
Okay.
Set 6.
Come on,
2
team.
sets left. Rest coming up.
Okay,
Rest.
2 more standing crunches and we are done with the workout. I'm sure you'll understand now why Tabata sessions are
Exercise
usually
20
only
seconds.
30 minutes
Set 7.
absolute
1
maximum.
set left.
They're hard work.
Rest coming up. Rest.
Okay, 20 seconds left. So stay with me, team. Getting your breathing back under control here. Okay, last one.
Exercise 20 seconds. Last set. Come on. Rest coming up.
All the way to the end.
Rest.
And we are done. Whew.
Workout paused.
Okay. And there's our 6 Tabata exercises for today's session. So drink, breathing back under control, and then we'll have a bit of a stretch. Okay. Okay, so we will start off in our downward facing dog position, pedaling our feet from side to side to stretch out our calves, because our calves got quite a bit of a workout, especially in the first half of the session when we were doing the star jumps and the push press, the jump squats and the lateral movements. So I'll demonstrate from this angle today. So soft bending your knees, pedaling from side to side. Okay, bringing your left knee on the ground and your right foot to the outside of your right hand. If you'd like to do a more advanced stretch here, you can go into full sprinter position and lift your knee off the ground. You will feel a much stronger stretch, your glutes and hamstrings and your hip flexors. Or you can just leave your knee on the ground. Coming up is a full sprinter. And holding it there. Okay, so we're coming around to our left hand side. So feet wide, toes pointing out, straight legs, interlocking your fingers behind your back and lifting your hands up towards the sky and just hanging there. It's a really great stretch for our hamstrings. You can even feel this in your upper body as well, especially shoulders after we did all that shoulder work today. Okay, we're coming back around to the front again, hands on the ground. This time bringing your right foot back and your left foot forward. So we can keep our right knee on the ground or we can lift it off the ground into full sprinter's position with a nice flat back, looking at the ground. So the idea here is to stretch everything out, but also to get your heart rate under control. So I'm sure my heart rate got to somewhere near its maximum in that session. Okay, so this time we're coming around to the right hand side, and most of us will need a nice soft bend in our knees, especially if your flexibility and mobility isn't great like mine. So left fingertips on the ground, right fingertips up to the sky and looking at your right thumb. So you want to keep a nice flat back if you can. None of this, which is really tempting when you have very tight hamstrings. Okay, so we want to put our right fingertips on the ground and left fingertips up, looking towards the sky or our left thumb. And remember, this stretch you can do absolutely anywhere, anytime. It's a really good one to do without the holds as a warm-up before you run or exercise, as a dynamic warm-up, dynamic stretches, or you can do it when you get out of bed in the morning just to loosen everything up. Okay, so we're coming back onto the ground. So we're keeping our right leg forward and tucking it under into a half pigeon position. So we can stay up on our hands if that's a strong enough stretch. But if we want a bit more of a stretch, we can come down onto our elbows and hold in there and head in your hands. And pausing the video if you need to hold these stretches for any longer. Ideally it's around 30 to 45 seconds. And so we're coming back into downward facing dog position with a soft bend in our knee and bringing our left leg into half pigeon position. And we can stay on our hands. When we're here, this gives us a little bit more of a lower back stretch as well. We can come down on our forearms with our head between our hands and hold it down. Legs back, and we're coming into a cobra position. So this time it's opposite. It is a lighter stretch if we have our forearms on the ground. You want to feel this in lower back. And drawing your shoulder blades back in together. So you don't want to be all hunched over like this. The shoulder blades back. Or you can come up on your hands if you would like a stronger stretch there. But don't go up too high, it's putting too much stress on your lower back. And from there, we come back into a child's position. So creating as much length between your fingertips and your feet. So thinking about your fingertips as far forward and your toes as far back. So you want to get a really good stretch here. And now holding as long as you need to in this stretch. And then drawing your fingers in towards your knees. And just rocking back a bit, and we'll have a bit of a shin stretch before we get up. Now coming forward onto your hands. Front of the foot on the ground. And then as you come up, your heels to go on the ground. You just come up really slowly. Just imagine you're coming up one vertebrae at a time. Really nice and slow. Front, and then feet shoulder width apart, fingers up, coming up on your toes to get a really nice stretch. Take a bit of a shake, and another stretch, feet shoulder width apart, coming up on your toes, fingertips to the sky, shaking it out. And that team is week number 3, session number 6 done. So I really hope you enjoyed this session and looking forward to session number 7 next week.